Welcome to another episode of Mayo Movie Club, and hello to all the new people following the channel. This is a series where I do movie recommendations. It isn't for analysis, I don't do spoilers, I just give the general overview of movies that I think are worth your time. And not just movies that I think are amazing, sometimes it's a movie that's just okay, but maybe there's something interesting about it that you might appreciate. This is episode 15, and sometimes these episodes have themes. We've done space, baseball, and a feature on my favorite actor, Garrett Dillahunt. And this time, well, I've been in a mood. So this episode is Mayo Movie Club Heartbreak Edition! Yeah, it's just something I gotta do. We're gonna look at 4 movies that absolutely break me. Starting with the one you guys are most likely to have seen, and if you haven't, obviously you should. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Have you ever wished you could erase your memory of someone after a breakup? Never mind if you should or not, or what the ethics of it are. Imagine if you could do it. The story here is about a man named Joel, played excellently by Jim Carrey in his prime, as he's reeling in pain from a breakup. He's wondering how he can piece things back together, but he finds out that his ex has had her memory wiped by this clinic downtown, offering this bizarre service. They interview you about your history with the person, ask you to collect all the items related to them, and then visit you at your home to wipe your memory while you're sleeping. Joel makes the rash decision to delete his memories too, kinda like he's getting back at her. And while he's being worked on, he starts to regret his decision. And since he can't wake up, he tries to hide his memories of his ex wherever he can. There's a lot of creative set work and in-camera visual effects in addition to digital effects. We go through important moments of his relationship and get an idea of the troubles they had, him as an insecure, awkward type, and her as an emotionally explosive, free spirit. I hadn't seen Eternal Sunshine in a few years, and I thought I could talk about it after just briefly skimming through it, but no. After 5 minutes I was hooked. I'd forgotten about all the side stories with the employees at the clinic, and it's a far more complex film than I'd remembered. If you've ever been in love, this one is gonna hurt. Probably watch it alone. Actually, I'd give that advice for any of these movies. Sticking with the idea of strange technology, the next movie is so dear to me that if it's not in my top 5 of all time, it's definitely close. Timer from 2009. I'm positive almost none of you have heard of this movie. Like Eternal Sunshine, the premise is based on an ethically questionable technology that, if you think too much about it, definitely wouldn't go down the way it does in the movie. In Timer, they have scientifically determined the existence of a soulmate. How? Who knows? That's not explained. But there are these devices called timers that you can get implanted into your wrist that tells you when you're gonna meet your soulmate. But it only becomes activated if your soulmate also gets a timer implanted. So you either get a timer and then wait for it to activate, hoping your soulmate somewhere in the world also gets one, or when you get your timer, it automatically activates because your soulmate already has one. And this creates some really messed up situations. Our protagonist, Una, has become obsessed the older she gets, trying desperately to get her timer to start counting down. She tries to convince every guy she has even the slightest emotional connection with to get a timer, because if he's not her soulmate, she doesn't want to be wasting her time. Her sister, on the other hand, has a timer already counting down to when she meets her soulmate, but it's in like 50 years. So the timer ends up creating a whole culture of people who have basically given up on love, and so they just sleep around because what's the point? One day, Una is at the grocery store, and in the checkout, the much younger guy at the register is flirting with her, but she walks away. And later, at her family's house, they're celebrating her 14-year-old brother's timer installation, because you can't get a timer installed any younger than that. Her brother's timer immediately activates, and it says he's gonna meet his soulmate in just 3 days. Una is pissed off about it. She's been trying to find her connection for years, and her brother just instantly gets it. So she says fuck it, and drives back to the grocery store and asks the kid at the register if he wants to go out.
Hey, what time to get off?
What?
Do you want me to repeat it?
Yes, into the loudspeaker if you don't mind.
Believe me when I tell you, this is your one shot. So make it count.
Now, I get off now.
From there, the movie deals with the conflict of, do you pour your heart into something that isn't confirmed to be the real thing? Do you ignore what fate tells you? It's a beautiful movie, funny, quirky, and deep. with one of the most difficult scenes near the end that I have ever had to see, because it reminds me a lot of something I went through in a similar situation when I was around this guy's age dating an older woman. Timer, like the rest of these movies, is not something I watch often because it's just too difficult, but I adore it. To contrast the lesser-known Timer with something everyone knows, it's The Notebook, starring Ryan Gosling and my girlfriend Rachel McAdams. This is truly a modern classic. The tale of two young lovers in a small town, the girl coming from a wealthy family, the boy from much simpler means. A summer romance full of intense passion, eventually falling apart as the girl must go off to college and her family doesn't want her life being ruined by a guy they think has no future. It's a classic conflict of lovers from different classes of society, set in the 1940s. After they're apart for years, they cross paths again, the girl now soon to be married to someone of her own class, and their old romance reignites. What life will she choose, and how does he feel with her showing back up in his life only to possibly break his heart and leave? This movie is full of feelings. It's not a difficult movie to watch, it's pretty sweet, but it does get into the dark side of the issues, leading to some explosive arguments. Both actors are great, there's some lovely music, and the 1940s setting is great. I really love period pieces. I don't want to say much about the movie, you just gotta see it, and I think it'll leave you feeling pretty good. If you're a guy, you should definitely know The Notebook, because whatever girl you meet almost certainly knows it, and she'll be glad you've seen it. Alright, I've saved the big one for last. A movie so hard for me to watch that I only saw it once and then I didn't see it again until re-watching it for this video 9 years later. It's The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Not just a story of love, but of friendship too. Our main character, Charlie, is an emotionally troubled freshman in high school with some traumatic stuff in his past. He's coming into this new school, this new world, with no friends but the one he writes letters to from his bedroom. He connects with a couple misfit seniors who take him in, and of course he falls in love with the girl, Sam, played by Emma Watson, in her first role after the Harry Potter series. He finds a group of people that accept him and like him. He starts feeling better about himself and his life, coming out of his shell, until things start getting complicated when he can't ignore his feelings for this girl that he thinks he doesn't really have a chance with. If I say much more, I'm gonna spoil the movie, so I'll talk about the other things I like. The performances are great, especially now disgraced actor Ezra Miller, who plays a gay student in a secret relationship with a closeted football player. And the actor that plays Charlie comes across as so goddamn sympathetic, it's impossible not to root for him. He's got so many weaknesses, but you see the bright light inside him that proves he has the strength to become something great. There's a lot of great music in the movie as well, though some of the dialogue does come across as the writer just romanticizing his own taste in music over everyone else's. There are so many moving moments between the characters, and they're usually the quiet ones. It's not like The Notebook where you have these big dramatic scenes where people are screaming at each other and it ends in a passionate kiss. Instead, this movie captures those very real moments that happen in life, where the most devastating thing can be done or said in the simplest and most casual way, and you're left with that feeling of heartbreak because you don't know what to do or how to help.
So I'm guessing you've never been high before.
No. My best friend Michael, his dad was a big drinker, so he hated all that stuff. Parties too.
Well, where is Michael tonight?
Oh, he shot himself last May. Kinda wished he left a note, you know what I mean? Where's the bathroom?
It's up the stairs.
Thanks, Sam. You're so nice.
If you're watching The Perks of Being a Wallflower for the first time, I hope you like it. It wasn't nearly as difficult for me to watch a second time. I guess I was in a very different place emotionally and socially a decade ago. So if you're in a vulnerable place, this movie will probably hit you really hard, but not in a sad way, it still leaves you feeling good. Thank you for watching this way too personal episode of Mayo Movie Club. Sorry I haven't been here in a while, doing 5 videos on RoboCop really took it out of me. If you'd like to see these episodes a week before everyone else, join my Patreon or become a YouTube channel member. It's my way of saying thanks for supporting me. See you in the next episode.